welcome, Debbie. Let Victoria and Kelly Ray also introduce themselves. I'm Adele, obviously. How are you going?
I'm not too bad now that I've got you open.
And whereabouts are you? Because it's very dark behind you.
I'm in Tully, far north Queensland, in my little back room.
Wonderful. I'm glad you could make the call. Victoria and Kelly Ray, I've known them for quite some time, so they've been very generous in showing up for the call as well.
Excellent. Hi, girls.
And I just want to say thank you. I had a lot of people saying they would come along, and you're the only one that did.
Oh. Maybe they're having the same problem as I did.
Well, who knows? I haven't had anyone else make any comments, and that's okay. A lot of them were actually from India. So maybe, I don't know what's going on with that. So, Debbie, is there something that you wanted to ask, or was this just a general say hi and see who I am?
Just a general say hi, because I watch you talking to me all the time and I never get a chance to talk back.
And this is exactly why I did it. I was like, I feel like I actually do feel like I'm talking to people when I'm on video, and I almost hear responses when they're coming through. But then, comments come up and I'm like, I really actually want to just talk to people.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to get a response to what you're saying.
Yeah, right? So you've been in the group for how long? Because I do sort of keep track of people, but not as specifically as that.
Only a couple of months.
Yeah? And you're still here, which is awesome. You're enjoying the content?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's come along at a really good time for me because I lost my partner in March.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just life and, part of it. But it was just, I needed something different. And this is really, really good.
Wonderful. And can I ask how long were the two of you together?
20 years.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah, it was a long time. It was a really great 20 years. We travelled around Australia in a camper trailer for 6 years, fruit picking. And then we came up here to Tully, and we've experienced 2 cyclones while we're here, Category 5s. So, it's been an interesting life.
Wow. And so you've been in Tully for how long?
13 years.
Wow.
Now, where is that?
It's halfway between Townsville and Cairns in Queensland.
So I know Melbourne, Brisbane, and Sydney. That's the only cities I know.
Further
well,
north
if you're driving from Melbourne, it takes you. If you're driving from Brisbane, it takes you about 20 hours.
North?
Yes.
So you're way up.
You know how Australia kind of has that pointy bit at the top, and then it comes down and goes like a big bum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Far North Queensland is sort of in that pointy bit. I'm right, yeah?
Yeah. I'm just at the part of the big bum.
I have to just share with you, I was never good at geography, including the geography of my own country. So, the pointy bit in the bum, that's as technical as I get with geography.
Well, people remember it.
I used to be really, really, really good as a teenager, but I was a map fan. So instead of having like boy bands on my walls when I was growing up, I had the map of the world. I had the map of the United States. I love maps.
That's good. It's good to know where everything is.
Yeah, of course. Now there's like 100 more countries in the world when I was in high school. So
I know.
Yeah. Victoria, I feel like you've got to put your geek glasses on there, love.
I've been geeking out all weekend.
and Debbie,
you Pirates of the Caribbean. I've been geeking out all weekend.
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's pretty. Like, how's that geeky?
Oh my gosh, I cry when I go. Yeah. There is no other movie that I've ever seen in my entire life or anything that affects me so deeply. I'm a geek.
Sorry, just let me clarify here. As Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think it was my favorite ride when I was a little kid, when I went to Disney World for the first time. And I'm a Johnny Depp lover.
Yeah, well, that's a given, really. That's a given.
Yeah.
But let's put it this way. My husband always waits for the next Pirates because he wants to see me cry when I see the pirate flag on top of the Disney castle. Yeah, I'm insane. I am insane.
No. You know, we've got some past life stuff happening here for you, Victoria.
Oh, I was probably a pirate in another life. I mean, I'm sure of it. Or a wench to a pirate. I have no idea.
Exciting, whichever way you go.
Yeah, because one of my favorite things to do is every year I go to the Ren Fair at least twice in full garb. I got bodices and everything. Yeah, I'm like, I was definitely alive sometime during the colonial era or even before.
I so see you as a wench. I can so see that.
Yeah, I even actually a couple of years ago, I think it was after the third Pirates or the third Pirates, I actually dressed up as the shaman witch lady that was living in the swamp for Halloween.
Wow.
Using my Renaissance costumes.
Ladies
I'll
and
have to
gentlemen,
show a picture of it.
a geek. I think you need to post pictures of that in the group.
Yeah,
I think so.
honestly, I think I have them right here on my phone. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but.
And Deb, tell me what happened. What do you guys do in far north Queensland for fun?
For fun? There's not a lot to do here for fun.
Because
you can't swim in the ocean in the summer because of the irukandji jellyfish. So that's in the winter. Like the winter now is about 18 degrees. So I can't complain about the weather.
That's kind of like my ideal. That's a really lovely temperature. I like that. And that's winter.
Summer's pretty horrible though. The humidity is like 150% in the summer.
Oh my gosh.
No. That's when you move to Melbourne. That's when you do
That's
6
right,
months.
yeah.
6 months in Melbourne and 6 months in Tully.
Yeah, well, my daughter lives in Melbourne, so I should go and stay with her for 6 months.
There you go, right? She's got a spare room, surely.
I don't know if she could put up with me for 6 months.
You're her mum. She has to put up with you for 6 months.
I posted something on Facebook the other day and it says, I smile because you're my daughter and I laugh because you can't do anything about it.
I like that. I really do. Now, I don't have kids, but Kelly Ray, you could probably relate to that, yeah?
No, not yet.
What,
Not
look,
yet.
smiling because she's your daughter and laughing because she doesn't have a choice?
No, absolutely. I'm the one that's blessed for sure.
Kelly Ray and Victoria, obviously both from America, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning for Victoria and about 10 o'clock at night for Kelly Ray.
Oh, wow.
And I still have about 3 more hours before I get tired, so I'm good to go.
So what, you sleep 3 hours a night?
No, I actually sleep all the way until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I get a full night's sleep. I'm just a night person. I was for most of my adult life, I was very sick with chronic bronchitis and chronic pneumonia. And every time I tried to get a job and fit with normal society and work a 9 to 5 or 11 to 7, within 6 months I was sick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And right before I turned 40, I had a little bit of a mini midlife crisis. And I was done with being sick and tired. I was sick
That's
and
the
tired.
time it happens.
Sick and tired. And I said, things have to change. So I decided at that point, and luckily, well, not luckily, it's kind of bittersweet, but I had a cat die in 2000, just before I turned 40. And because of that, I was late to work. And I got a demerit, and they laid me off.
Mm.
Best thing, I actually cried in gratitude because they had no idea what to think of, because I was actually thanking them because I felt so guilty leaving.
Mm.
But now they kind of forced me to leave, and I was just so grateful. And that was the moment I said, that's it. I'm no longer working for anybody else. I'm working for myself, and I'm going to let my body choose my time schedule. And it chose 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Hmm.
I mean, at first it was like 5 a.m. to 3 p.m., but then my body kind of adapted. So now I'm down to 5 to 1.
So you need to actually move to Australia.
I know. I was like, I pretty much fit in like New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
Hey, Adele, I've been forgetting to ask you this question. So do you use a pendulum at all?
I don't. Do you know, I've tried and they make me nervous. I keep getting images of like Ouija boards when I try and use a pendulum.
Yeah.
But what I do, which is interesting that you asked, because I had this conversation with some of the kinesiology people that I studied with, is that I actually tap to get an answer. So I'll go through numbers or alphabet or whatever it is, and I tap, and then my fingers stop tapping, and that's when I know I've got the right answer. So,
well, it was interesting. I had a client a couple weeks ago, and so I use a pendulum occasionally.
yep.
And I can use it for answering questions, use it for testing food, all of that.
Yeah.
So for me, if the pendulum turns right, it means yes, it's okay. My body wants it or I need it.
Yep.
And if it turns left, it says no. Interesting, the question they posed is, well, is it the same way on the other side of the equator? And I'm like, that's a brilliant question. I don't know the answer to that.
Well,
I can probably help with that.
yeah.
Because I'm kind of like you, Adele, where I was very nervous about using a pendulum. And in my work with Healing Touch for Animals, that's our main assessment tool.
Which it would be, because it's a kinesiology-based idea, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all based on the chakra systems and the horror line and all that stuff. So, and I had a real struggle with that. And I had to break through some blocks. But what I found is the pendulum chooses which direction it goes for yes or no.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. It depends on the energy of the pendulum, because I have had some pendulum, and typically mine's clockwise for yes, counter for no. But I have had ones that were clockwise for yes, side to side for no. It just chooses what it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, because I do know quite a few people that do work with pendulums or have worked with pendulums. Debbie, you comfortable with this topic?
I use a pendulum all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah. So even when I was having a clean out, I used the pendulum to tell me which books to toss and which ones to keep.
Really?
That's awesome.
That really is awesome. I had to sort of just double check, because I don't ever want people to feel uncomfortable. So tell me about how you use your pendulum.
Well, it always
does fascinate me, and thank you, Kelly Ray, for asking the question.
Well,
what I actually use for a pendulum.
On the other side of the equator, I need to ask them.
I can't hear Kelly very well.
Yeah, you're a little bit muffled, Kelly Ray.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I've got a
Debbie, just before you go, what I was going to say with Kelly Ray, what my understanding is of pendulums is that you actually what's the word for it? Calibrate them.
Yes.
Right.
So it each time you use it, you ask it to calibrate, show you yes, show you no. And as Victoria was saying, I know a lot of people where it was actually a swinging, like backwards and forwards motion means one thing, and spinning means something else altogether. And I have tried, but it just doesn't move for me.
Mine wouldn't move either until I found a stone that wanted to work with me.
Ah, so that's it.
I tried making them. I tried actually the first thing that worked for me is one of my my Healing Touch teachers, not the Healing Touch for Animals, the Healing Touch for Humans. One of my teachers, he actually needed to make a bunch, and she made them out of plastic buttons and some string.
Yep.
And it worked beautifully.
Yeah.
And then I was still having problems with other things, and then I found I did have a tree agate one, won't move at all. And then I just had a necklace with a lapis, and I put that on thing, and it works. So it shows me. Like I had several that would not even move. And then a couple that said, you know what? Okay, we're going to work for you now.
And so, Deb, just back to you. So tell me how you use your pendulum, because it does fascinate me hearing about other people's practices.
Well, what I've actually started using, I've got a little memorial plaque thing with the picture of my father in it, you know, saying that he's missed and whatever, and it's on I'll put it on a chain, and I use that. Wow. And I ask it to show me which ways yes and which ways no before I start. And it's always either forwards and backwards or side to side.
And can I ask you, out of curiosity, do you believe that that is your father guiding you? Given what you're using as the pendulum?
It's always stronger when I use that with Dad's picture in it than it is with stones and things, because I've got many different kinds of stones on pendulums. Yeah. And that one's always stronger. Mm.
Wow. So you are actually highly connected to spirit, yes?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Pretty magical, yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that's really what's got me through losing my partner. It's I've got a tattoo. I don't know whether you can see it there on my shoulder.
Yes.
Beautiful butterfly.
Oh.
I can't see the detail of it clearly, but
my daughter actually wrote a poem about butterflies because I've always loved butterflies, and it's a beautiful poem. I can't remember it off by hand, but it's got and sparkles trail its wings, and that's what this is. It's got the sparkles trailing off the butterfly. And 2 days, like Greg didn't like any of my tattoos. 2 days before he died, he put his hand up and just stared at my tattoo, and I thought he's trying to give him, because he couldn't talk at that stage. Wow. He had cancer and he'd had a stroke, and I only had him from the time he was diagnosed to the time he died was 6 weeks, so we didn't really have a lot of time to do things.
Goodness.
Yeah, it was very fast. But
may I give you something with that? Is that what you were actually so I just need to be very aware. Am I allowed to do this for you, Debbie?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
So I just need to be very aware that I'm using the right wording for you, and that I'm not giving my opinion, because I'm actually not allowed to give my opinion. Is that the blessing was that 6-week period. It was designed that way because it had to happen, and rather than having it as a let's just cut this off or let's just drag this out, the gift was that you were given this period of time, not longer, not shorter. It was that you've already come to that conclusion yourself, haven't you?
And so did he. It was, he didn't really believe, or I don't know that he didn't believe, but he didn't understand what I believe. Okay. But he always encouraged me with it, which was great. I'm a Reiki master, and at one stage I didn't have the money to do one of my classes, and he gave me the money to go and do it. And whenever he came home with any aches and pains, he asked me to do Reiki, so he must have believed enough for me to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, which was really good. But, you know, with him putting his hand up to my butterfly, and I thought he's trying to give me a message, and the friend that was staying with me at the time, she said, he's going to send you a butterfly to let you know that he's made it to where he's going.
Oh, wow. And goosebumps.
We were sitting out on the veranda having coffee the day after, and I don't know whether you know what a Ulysses butterfly is.
I have heard of them, but I'm going to Google it.
Have you got a blue light on the top of your computer?
No, it's green.
Oh, well, I've got a blue one. It's just the most brilliant, beautiful, I don't know what sort of, it's nearly a turquoisey blue, and they're really, really big butterflies, and they're the most gorgeous
around the outside?
Yes.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. It came right in under the balcony. Yes, that's it. Yeah, came right in underneath and flew around us and then flew back out again. And I thought, he's made it. He's happy.
Wow.
And every single day I've had a butterfly come and visit me. So it's been magic.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you are truly blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's helping me get through all this. I have days where I sit down and I cry my eyes out. Or, you know, when we're doing something particular that, like last week we had to clean one of his sheds out up the back, and that was a little bit much for me, just seeing people throw his stuff out. And I was saying, I don't want that thrown out. I don't want that thrown out. You know, I want to keep all of this. But it has helped me get through a lot of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they never really go away. They're always with us.
No.
My sister was taken back in '91, and she's with me all the time. And it's what's helped me through. I mean, we're going on 27 years, and she's always with me. Always. She
must be there now. The dog's telling you.
Yeah, her and my Aunt Carol are talking to me all the time. They never stop.
Wow.
So I never feel like she's gone.
Wow.
That's great.
I often ask if my grandmother's hanging around with me, and I don't get a response. It's very strange because I kind of keep going, but I want it to be someone I know. I want it to be someone I know. But occasionally she pops into my dreams. But I kind of feel that everyone, actually my grandfather's around me, but he passed away when I was about 3 or 4. But yeah, connecting with the people that are guiding you. Wow, what an experience.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
When my dad died from pancreatic cancer, the same as Greg did about 13 years ago, and my sister and my mum and I all cared for him at home as well, and he got gangrene in his leg when he got sick because he had a blood clot in the top of his leg, and he couldn't take the medication to fix the blood clot because of his cancer medication, so he ended up with gangrene in his leg. Wow. And it was spreading up his leg, and Mum and Sherry went to town one day and left me to look after Dad, and he said, my legs, it really is hurting, can you just give it a gentle rub? So I gave it a gentle rub for him, and when they came home they said, oh no, you weren't supposed to do that, the doctor said that you can rupture it if you rub it. And I thought, well, you should have told me that to start with. And I felt so bad. And I went to a medium years later, and she said, oh, Dad said thanks for rubbing his leg.
Oh, gorgeous. Because actually, and that's what I was going to say. What came through really clearly was that something about that actually helped him a lot.
Yeah. So it was good. It made me feel better to know I did the right thing.
Yeah.
Doctors always know what's best.
Yeah.
Well, just quietly, they rarely know what's best. Oh, did I really say that?
Did I quietly just say, I totally agree? I had a doctor nearly kill me. And that was like the last time I trusted a doctor blindly.
Yeah, it's oh look, it's a hot topic. It's a really, really, really hot topic, and I've got pretty strong views about it all. But that's not to say that when I'm sick, I go to the doctor. If I need antibiotics, I'll go. But it's got to be. I can't take it anymore, and I've got to do something.
Energy work. I think Eastern and Western philosophies of medicine always need to come together because they support each other. You can't just have one like we have in the U.S. where they don't want to take anything except for what the pharmacies want them to do.
Yeah, I know.
But they have to go together, and I say that with my animal work. It's like, especially because energy work supports the patient, so it provides an environment for the patient to self-heal. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what our bodies are meant to do. We replace our brain, we replace our skin, we replace everything. We're constantly regenerating. And, you provide the environment, and then you can allow, some of the toxins to leave your body. You can allow, the space for the doctors to do what they need to do, the peace, the lower stress levels. They have to work together.
Yeah. And there's a, I think it's in China, where you go to the hospital and the triage will actually either send you to a doctor, or they send you to the herbalist, or they send you to the acupuncturist.
Really? That sounds like a Chinese thing. I mean,
acupuncture
is Chinese, right?
It's all there, right? So you go into triage, you go into an emergency, and they will send you to the homeopath, or they'll send you to the nutritionist, or they'll send you to the acupuncturist, or you go to the medical doctor, the GP type doctor. And I'm just like, Yeah, it makes complete sense. I mean, why would you do it any other way?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, you know, Deb, you've experienced cancer indirectly, you know, twice, so closely to you. You know, you would have seen, you would have seen that really, really awful side of it, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. My dad was extremely clever. Like, he's the one who brought me into spirituality because I've grown up with it.
Nice. Sorry. You're so lucky.
Yes, I am. It just makes you so much more open-minded to so many different things.
Yeah.
And my dad was able to separate himself from his physical. He could go and have a root canal done on his tooth without injections. He was amazing. So when he had cancer, he never showed any pain or anything. So he was pretty amazing, yeah. And, he never complained about a thing. It was just incredible.
I'm just interested to look up the aspects of the pancreas for you.
Mm.
Do you want to know from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So pancreas or spleen is self-analysis, self-nourishment, truth, integrity, care for self. Self is the lowest priority, needy, contentment, purpose, fulfilled, and truth. And can I just say that as I was reading those through, whether it was for your dad or your partner or yourself, what really triggered is self is the lowest priority.
Yeah.
Out of all of that, it was like as soon as I read that, I went, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, that would have been Dad. And I always believe, I believe that your emotions come out in physical. Absolutely. And Dad was the person who, Mum was the strong one in our family. She sort of told everybody what to do, including Dad. And he used to hold everything in that area. And I really believe that that's what caused the cancer in that area.
Yeah.
Greg was not able to communicate his feelings. Like, we sat down to have a really in-depth talk about emotions and stuff. He had no idea what to say. So I believe that's why he got that there too. He used to be a very heavy drinker when he was young, but he hadn't had a drink for 28 years.
It wasn't the alcohol.
No. And Dad was always very healthy. He was a sportsman. He always ate healthy meals. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. So it can't be put down to anything like that. And I believe it was all emotional.
Yeah.
Both of them, yeah.
It's amazing what emotions can do to our bodies.
Yeah, it is, yeah. That's why I had to pick myself up.
And part of it,
and I know it's because I had several traumatic events. I know for a fact that's what caused them. It just didn't just happen. I had a couple instances where I was this close to death and car accidents and all that stuff. And it just it was all one right after the other. And then I was sick, I think my body, I'm not one of those people to wear my emotions out. I've always been very reserved. I mean, I'm very emotional. I'm an empath, but I'm not overly sensitive. I don't hug and kiss everybody. I'm very reserved.
You're quite Italian. What's that about?
I'm only a quarter Italian, but I'm 40% Scottish. So go figure.
Ditch the Scottish, embrace the Italian. Go out and hug everyone.
I get Scot from both sides of my family. But
well, I'm mostly Scottish, but I hug everyone.
What was that? I'm
mostly Scottish, but I hug everyone.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I think there's a lot of things, because I've been this way since the day I was born. I mean, I even had a hypnosis session with somebody who brought me into the womb. And he told me that I actually got stuck in the birth canal. So,
sorry.
I know. I didn't know this. I did not know this. And then so I get home and I'm talking to my mom, and she goes, "Oh, that's right. You were the only one that had to be pulled out with forceps." I'm like, okay. So ever since then, I've never liked things close to me. My mother took it very personally. I didn't want a nurse.
Oh, wow.
Proximity. And she's always resented me for that.
Oh, well, can I offer something to you for that? Because what actually just came through as you were saying that was you're pissed off. It's like, and please everyone excuse my language, it's like, what the fuck are you pulling me out of this lovely warm place for? I am pissed off. No, don't come near me. I am still pissed off. You ripped me out of there. I was nice and cozy.
That's probably it. I did have a session when she was 6 months pregnant. She flew from New Jersey to Africa, and after she got into a huge fight with my grandfather. So there was something emotionally that happened to me at that time. And we found out that that's what caused my OCD, my all or nothing mentality.
That's about 90% cleared now, though. Just again to let you know.
I mean, I'm still a little bit, but I'm just a little bit of a control freak. But a little bit. Yeah, but that, according to the hypnotist, that really affected me. The fight with my grandfather that my mom had, her running off to Africa to be with my dad. There was probably turbulence on the flight. That's a long flight. That's a long flight from New Jersey to East Africa. So, so there's something happened there. So it was probably like that's where I felt safest. You know, outside was scary. You know, everybody's yelling. You know. So
yeah.
That makes.
Yeah, well, look, I'd suggest that you probably do a bit more work around that too, Victoria. I know that you do. You know, you've got a self-care sort of regime, let's say, you know, where you sort of...
Well, I have to redo that. I haven't really been very persistent in that.
Yeah, it's probably something that you need to do a bit of work on, because it's still really, it's actually really quite strong in you still.
Yeah.
I
can feel it.
It's that piss-offedness. So it's not sort of more than that. It's not like rage, anger. It's not at that deep end of that scale, but it's a pretty intense piss-offedness.
Yeah. I mean, I still, as an adult, logically, I'm pissed off at my parents.
Yeah, okay.
I know that. Even as, no matter how nice they try to be with me, my mom pushed me away when I was a baby. My dad pushed me away when I was a teenager. My dad's a selfish person. My mom's a selfish person. So there's still a lot of, and they're both very passive aggressive. So it's just, you know, there is a lot of anger there, even as an adult.
You and I need to have a session. You know that, don't you?
You and I need to have many.
Yeah. We need to get this sorted out for you.
I'm having so many struggles right now.
Yeah, book it in, love. Book it in.
Well, one thing that really affected me, I think, when it comes to meditation and self-care is I used to do it all the time religiously. But when my cat died, when Spike died in January of, and I don't want to blame Spike, because Spike is my security guard. He's always around me, which I love, because he's like the best cat in the world. But he was my Buddha cat. He meditated with me. He hung out with me when I was doing that. We had a very spiritual relationship. And then when he got sick and I had to, you know, work with him through kidney failure and stuff like that, I just got out of the habit. And there's probably something in me that equates the meditation and the self-care with Spike. So, because Spike has a power over me and my husband that no other animal has ever had. He is definitely, I was told by a medium that he actually is a soulmate of mine.
Okay.
And he's chosen to be my security guard. So when I need protection, he comes in. Yeah. And I've had 7 other cats pass away, and I've hospiced all those cats, and Spike is the only one that chooses to come back and protect me. And that goes to show you how special our 2-year relationship was.
Yeah, you need to book some time with me, Victoria.
I know.
Like seriously. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
We've got about a minute left. Debbie, is there something else I can do for you on the call today? I would love to try and help you in some way.
The only thing I'm having a problem with at the moment is stopping everything in my head. I just cannot get myself organised. I've got so much paperwork I need to do for Greg. Every time I sit down to do it, everything seems to be all over the place. My head is just like a big whirlwind going on in there, and it's driving me nuts because I'm not really OCD, but I am, if you know what I mean. I like things to be in order, and I can't do anything unless, like if the house is a mess, I can't go and sit down and do paperwork. I've got to have that done first.
Yep. Okay. So what I'm getting is that there's not a scrambling going on in your brain. There's much more of a highway, which ties in very much with what you're saying about that OCD thing. I've got to have this done before I can have that done. So what we're actually going to do, with your permission, what I'm actually going to do is try and swirl some of that energy, because what's actually happening is there's no crossover, right? So it's this and this. Sorry, it's this and this. And what it should be is a melding of the two. So it's almost like a fish swimming, right? So you have, what's the significance of a fish swimming? There's, are you near a lake or a pond or something like that?
Greg's favourite hobby was fishing. We had the F list in our house. There was fishing, football, food and fornication.
Okay. And so this now makes, I like that list, by the way. I'm glad you said fornication and not what I thought you were going to say, which would have been fine as well. But this ties in completely now. That makes complete sense for me, because it's very much what you're doing at the moment is this, okay? And what you need to be doing is this, which is a very smooth flowing interaction between the two, because you're absolutely right. He is there with you. Oh, and he kind of needs to have his say. So what's actually happening for you at the moment, or if I may I just need to ask permission. Am I allowed to do that? Yeah. So he's in one of your ears, and you're in the other ear. So if you want to accept that, it needs to be an integration of those two things and move forward with that understanding. There's a degree of that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, though. Would that be correct?
I don't like being told what to do.
Okay. So what boundary would you like to put? I mean, and I say boundary with love, because, you know, you don't want him in your ear. You don't necessarily have to meld his thinking with yours, but what would be the comfortable scenario around that?
Focus, I think. If he could just help me focus on something, that's what I really need to do. Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to actually do, again, with your permission, am I allowed to sort of smooth out these neural pathways for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go in. So the energy around your head, there are really two really strong, and it's like this, like two steel bars, almost like a roll cage going across the top of your head. Okay. But what these are is actually really strong thought processes. You're very strong in your belief systems about everything, aren't you? I don't want to really say black and white, but there's not an awful lot of grey. Something's either right or it's wrong. Would that be correct? Yeah. Okay. So are we allowed to blur those edges for you a little bit? Okay. All right. So rather than the roll cage of steel bars, we've just smoothed it out to be like a bit of a paved pathway. How does that sound?
That sounds nice.
Yeah, okay, so you just felt a little bit of sense of serenity coming over you just then, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So we're going to now ask that energy to continue traveling as a serenity type pathway through your body. It's actually now going down your back. You've just got a few tingles going down your back? Yeah, okay, nice. All right. We're going to ask it to cycle down through the buttock and the thighs, bottom of the thighs. What we're now actually asking to do is that you have more of a connection with earth energy. So energy that you no longer required will actually leave your body through your feet. Now that we have this roll cage removed and we've turned it into a pathway for you, we've allowed that energy to flow down your back, down to the heels. It escapes through the heels, you bring it back in through the toes. But it is recycled energy. It's actually now, we have that pathway established, which is kind of nice. We have it coming up. We still have two very strong lines. And I'm just asking if we actually need to merge those two lines. We don't. They will merge when they're required to merge. So what I'm seeing is that the logic and the passion, when there is common denominator between the logic and the passion, that is when the merging will occur.
Okay.
All right. So as to finding, you're not looking for guidance from him, is it? You just want clarity about what to do next.
Yeah, he always seemed to make the right decisions. I always seem to make the wrong decisions because I live by my heart and he lived by.
So what you need to understand is that the decisions that you make by your heart are still the right decisions. They're just not interpreted from a brain logic perspective as being the right decisions because they're not the socially accepted outcomes. What you need to try and understand for yourself is that your heart decisions are actually always have been the right decisions. And I challenge you now to go back through those decisions that you say were the wrong decisions that you made with your heart and actually re-look at those situations and really assess honestly whether they were the wrong decision or whether they were a socially unacceptable outcome.
Yeah. I think most of what I do is socially unacceptable. Yeah.
Okay. So do you now agree that your heart decision is not that you make the wrong decision, you just make a socially unacceptable decision?
Yeah, it's always been the right decision for me, but not for everybody else.
Oh, boom! Okay. So what I can give you now is that you will actually flow much more smoothly. There's still a sense of a discomfort in that lower abdomen area. It's actually mid-abdomen, just at the base of the stomach. It's almost like nervous butterflies. Oh, the butterflies. Okay. So because you've used the butterflies as guides, it's a security blanket for you. And what I want to say is that they will continue coming to you, but you don't have to rely on them. Okay? They're there as support, but you actually have all the answers within you. Your heart is actually pure and full and is more than capable of making the right decisions for you. So if you're procrastinating on something, all I ask is that you say, is that really something I need to do? And then listen to yourself. And if it's not, pack it away, put it in a box and let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first time I've ever lived by myself. I'm 60 years old this year, and I have never, ever lived by myself before. I've always looked after somebody.
And this is a big transitional phase for you, you know?
It is, and I'm kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, but it's that finding your footing, right? So I've never lived by myself. No one else is here to make the decisions. No one else is here to bounce the ideas off.
That's right. Or tell me what to do. Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's just shift that one for you. It's not tell you what to do, but make suggestions about how you can proceed. How's that sound for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so much nicer, right?
It sounds nicer, but everybody has told me what to do all my life.
Okay, so how about we just say that you don't have to be told what to do, that you will accept suggestions on how you should proceed?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is about empowering you, not about letting other people take over your life. How does that sound?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a little bit of a lead weight in your belly now because it's a sense of responsibility, but that's okay because that's just blossomed into a bit of a... I've got rose coming up, but there's daisies and daffodils on either side of it. Do either of those flowers have significance for you?
Not up here because you can't grow them in the tropics.
Okay, so there is a childhood reference to that around the age of 10 with daisies and daffodils, okay?
Yeah.
So whatever was in your life around the age of 10 around daisies and daffodils is actually still there supporting you. So it may have been someone that had passed or it may have been, I don't know, it's someone who actually had an influence on you. And there is a relevance with daisies and daffodils. They are still with you. Their presence, their spirit is guiding you. Okay, nice. And we're done.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Thank you very much, Victoria, for joining. Thank you, Kelly Ray, for staying up well beyond your bedtime.
Can I geek out again?
Sure.
I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Oh, my lordy lord, woman.
Yep. That was my Halloween costume in 2013.
Nice work. I'll have to pull out my wench photo. I did dress as a wench once as well.
And I had waist long black hair too that I curled.
Okay, so I challenge you to post your wench photo in the group, and I will go and find my wench photo and post it in the group.
Oh, I got lots of wench pictures, so I can choose. I have lots of Ren Fair pictures.
Okay, all right. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us on the call.
It's been lovely. Thank you.
I'd be hoping to make something like this more regular, and you know, you're always welcome. I'm going to try and make it a more Sydney-friendly time zone because I had a lot of people saying they couldn't attend for work. But thank you so much for joining. It truly has been a delight to meet you and to be able to interact with you.
Thank you.
It's been a joy.
Thank you.
Please, Kelly Ray.
Yeah, I just want, Deb, I feel like the word that you need to hear is confirmation, like more than anything, and that you're glowing right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a really big white glowy, like capsule, bubble, I don't even know what the word is, but that wasn't there when you first came on the call with us. So I just wanted
No,
to
something like this is,
share
it's
that with you 'cause
fantastic.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I've had a lot of spiritual changes over the last couple of months, and it's been pretty amazing. I can just feel myself growing.
We're all here for you.
Thank you.
Mwah. Thank you so much, you gorgeous, gorgeous ladies. And we will do this again so soon.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank
Is
you.
everyone okay if I post this in the group?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Excellent. Mwah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.